Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to SevTech Ages. So I know today's episode was a little bit shorter, it was like 54 minutes. And that's just because, we kind of wrapped up on what we were working on, and, I didn't really have a whole lot of time left. However, something that I want to go over, and this was brought up in the comments by Nicholas Alberts, and it's really, really awesome. I didn't even think about doing this. It's really, really cool. It's another game-breaking little thing, we've covered a few of those within the series. Now, we will still have to do Galacticraft, of course, because we do have advancements that are required for Galacticraft. But something that Nicholas brought up in the comments is we can craft the Ore Dictionificator. And at its core, it's really just another ore dictionary block that changes, ores into, whenever you have 50 million different tin ores, you can consolidate them down into one type of tin ore. But we can actually use this for a little bit of an exploit, and we're gonna use it, okay? So we can take the Ore Dictionificator, and we'll set this down. I'll tell you what, I'm actually gonna pop over. I'm gonna set this up in the ore processing room because we will need this up there. And probably next episode we're going to be doing ore processing, and this is actually going to kind of tie into ore processing, and we're going to have a little place where we can insert these and have them processed through. But over here we have all these metals, right? So we already talked about those in today's episode. Let's set down our Ore Dictionificator right, we'll put it right here, okay? And let's grab ourselves a bit of iron ore, iron clusters. And we're going to set a new filter, and we're going to say Ore Iron. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and hit the check mark. And what we can do is we can cycle through and select the type of iron ore that we want. And what we want is Kepler 22b iron ore from extra planets. So we're going to hit save. And then what we can do is we can take our iron clusters and just toss them into here. And there we go. It's going to start running. It's going to start making us some Kepler 22b iron ore, which normally you're not able to get this until you get to Kepler 22b. Once again, all the credit for this goes to Nicholas Alberts, because this is great. I love it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop over. We'll go over here right now. I'm going to set up something, a little spot for this. But this is actually a whole lot easier. Even if you went to the other planets, this is a whole lot easier of a method. Let's grab our linking tool from Astral Sorcery. And what we're going to do is we're going to set down our Kepler 22b. And you can automate this. Like I said, we're going to be automating this later on. But you can see whenever we hit this with the beam, there we go. It turns into Inferium ore. And we can just break that off, and there we go. We have Inferium essence, 3 pieces. Let's go ahead and get ourselves just a couple more pieces of this, a couple more of the ores. And it's not the fastest thing, but once we automate this so that we have it, automatically being transmuted and then broken down, and then, everything is handled automatically, it's not going to be too bad. Though I will say this will be, okay, we've got 9 Inferium essence, that's perfect. We don't need any more of that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just take some seeds, just standard wheat seeds, Inferium essence around that, and there we go. Tier 1 Inferium seeds. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these things set up. And let me pop over to the storage building. And the first thing I want to do is I want to slot in Inferium essence into a drawer. And we're going to put this in, let's see. I guess we're going to put this in this drawer over here. We're going to put Inferium essence, and then we'll do Prosperity Shards next to that. And then let's get ourselves a cloche. We've got plenty of these things. Let's go ahead and grab a couple, because eventually I'm going to want like probably 5 or 10 Inferium essence farms, maybe. But we're going to start with a few of them. And we'll go ahead and do HV wire connectors, coils, and then I've got input routing nodes. And, we're going to need water as well. Which I can't remember what I have over here. I think it's just immersive engineering fluid pipes. Okay, and then we'll just run this back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we'll just do that, and then we'll do 10 farms of this because it is something that we're going to be using a bit of. And then we'll just place out our cloches like so. And then we're going to have to do HV wire coils. I'm just going to plug up one of these for right now. and then I can just expand this out. I've got to get a... Actually, I think I've got relays, but we'll go ahead and just plug that up. And then we're going to need to get ourselves some dirt. I don't really have any use for the Kepler 22b iron ore anymore, but we'll just leave it there. And we'll toss in our Inferium seeds, and it's going to start growing. It's going to start creating Inferium essence. And then all we're going to have to do is just take our input node and plug this up. I mean, this is all pretty basic, but I'm kind of excited about this because this is just awesome. Like I said, we're still going to have to go into space. You know, it's something that we can't really avoid because we do have advancements and stuff that tie into it. But even still, I mean, this is going to save us time because we can go ahead and get mystical agriculture started, and we can start working towards the seeds because it's really not all that involved in truth. Okay, we're up to 3 Inferium essence. That works. Let me go ahead and grab some of this dirt, and I'm going to go ahead and fill out these cloches. And then we're just going to let this start building up. Now, we can also rank this up, you know, to the higher tiers like Inferium Tier 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finally 6. Each of these require the next tier to craft. You can see that the Tier 2 takes Prudentium and Inferium. Prudentium, it does require that we have an Infusion Crystal, which the Master Infusion Crystal is standard. Wow, okay, that's cheap then. But we're going to start with the standard Infusion Crystal. That's fine. What we're going to need to do, though, is we're going to need to get Prosperity Shards, which, there's the recipe. Jupiter Tin Ore, Neptune Zinc Ore, Prismarine, Inferium. We have to have an Empower and all that stuff. But there's another trick to this. Nicholas Alberts brought this one up as well, and it's just great. We can honestly bypass any need to wait on getting this stuff started. Just buy a little bit of Astral Sorcery and Mechanism. So what we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves some copper right here. And we're going to make a new filter, and we're going to say ore copper. Okay, and we're going to lock that in. And then we're going to go back to, let's see, Kepler 22b copper ore. And we're going to save. And then we can take our copper and just toss it in. And now this thing can handle the Kepler 22b copper and iron both. And I don't actually need the iron, though, at this point. And then we'll just toss down our copper ore. And we'll give it just a second to run. And we're going to get Prosperity Shard ore. And the nice thing about upgrading this is instead of, you know, at a Tier 1 Inferium, you're only going to get 1 Inferium every time that the cloche runs, right? Well, once you get up to a Tier 6, you get 6 Inferium every time that it runs. So it is a major change, and we can really start getting into the mystical agriculture part of the side of things way sooner. There's Prosperity Shards, and there we go. We got 2 of those. Now, this is something I'm definitely going to want to automate, like right here, because this is going to be very time-consuming, you know, to have to craft all of these. Because you're going to use Prosperity Shards for all of your Infusion Crystals, which we're going to be using a lot of those. Base crafting seeds to craft most every type of seed except for Inferium seeds. And you also need it for the Essence Ingots and the Charms and everything for the armor. So it's definitely something that we're going to want to automate, and we'll be automating that next episode with the ore processing system, because it does kind of fit into that. And it really won't take, it's not a whole lot of effort to automate, in truth. But anyways, there's ourselves, wow, that was 12 on that one. That's great. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to put that there for right now. We'll go ahead and pop over to, actually, we'll pop over here. We'll just pop down here. We don't really have to go over to the storage building to do all of our crafting anymore. I keep forgetting we have this now. Okay, so if we take a look here at the Infusion Crystal, right? This right here. Let's go ahead and craft one of these out. Pow. And let's take a look at how much Inferium do we have. We have 15. Okay, now I could upgrade to a Tier 2 Inferium. Let's see, the Tier 2 requires 8 Prudentium Essence. I think it would be better to just go straight for another 2 Inferium seeds, and then once we have kind of a stockpile coming in, then we'll kind of upgrade these, you know, just go down the line and upgrade them. And there we go. I got those 2 running now. So we're going to start building up Inferium 3 times as fast now. So it really, once we plan out like 10 of these, we're going to have so much Inferium Essence coming in. It's going to be crazy. One thing I want to do, though, is I want to pop over to the RS system, and I want to drop in our prosperity shards. So this episode's kind of in 2 segments, sort of. I didn't think we would have anything else to do. I was like, okay, well, we're pretty much settled for this episode. But no, we can tackle this stuff and knock it out. But anyways, we got prosperity shards, we got Inferium essence, and the nice thing is, I can actually, mystical crops is pretty much open for the most part. I mean, I've got to do those prosperity shards, but I can upgrade and make like Meteoric iron, which takes tier 4, which is basically just tearing them up. Tier 4, and then Supremium essence, which is tiered up essence, and then Meteoric iron ingots. And we can make Meteoric iron seeds, and we can make Desh seeds, and we can make titanium seeds, and all these materials that come from Galacticraft, we can just have them coming in now, if we want. So, I'm probably going to continue working up Mystical Agriculture, you know, upgrading those seeds and stuff like that. I may go ahead and make like Meteoric iron seeds. I kind of wish I had realized that this was a thing sooner, because we could have done Meteoric iron seeds instead of even like searching for, you know, a while for that Meteoric iron. But it means that we don't have to go all the way to the ends of space to start Mystical Agriculture. We can go ahead and start it, and then kind of do the Galacticraft stuff at our leisure, just for the advancements. Which really, that means the rest of this is all just like cleanup, and then working on the creative stuff. So, very, very nice. But anyways, once again, Nicholas Alberts, thank you so much for bringing that up in the comments. It's really, really handy. It'll definitely come in very, very useful as we move forward with this pack. So anyways, that's really all I've got. So like I said, it's just kind of a little add-on for today's episode. And then of course I'll post it after today's episode. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.